All right, Temur Arcanist here. So we've got just a bunch of like tempo creatures that care about casting spells. We've got Dorat and Dragonsguard Elite. We've got Stormwing Entity. We've got Dreadhorde Arcanist kind of tying the room together, recasting our spells. And then we've got things like Snakeskin Veil, Quandrix Command, and Atarka's Command that can make Dreadhorde Arcanist bigger to let it flash back bigger things. One of the more powerful lines that are available to us is, Atarka's Command, deal 3, give things +1/+1. And then Dreadhorde Arcanist will then have 2 attack, and you can go ahead and attack and flashback Atarka's Command. Similar to what we've done with Silver Quill Command, Quandrix Command also lets Dreadhorde Arcanist recast it. So you can Quandrix Command, put 2 counters on your Arcanist, and bounce something. It then has 3 attack. It can attack, recast the Quandrix Command, bounce another thing, put some counters on something else, maybe even the Arcanist again. This thing has trample, so making it large is nice. We've got some utility like Decisive Denial, some card selection like Expressive Iteration, Opt, and Abundant Harvest. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how this Temur spells deck plays out this morning, huh? What's going on, Boston? Good morning. New-ish Darkened Command hit in HA5, which was over a week ago at this point. I think with 2 ops, I'm opting on 1. I want to try and give myself the best chance to find a land drop for turn 3. Also, if I Arcanist on 2 and it manages to live, Arcanist can flash back up, which lets me cast Stormwing without a 3rd land, technically. I'm calling this Miracle Grow, and the Magic Zoomers who don't get it can pound sand. I'll probably call this Miracle Grow on the YouTube title, if I'm being honest. Morning, James. So, they're red-based for removal. Since they just played this out, what do we think of Snakeskin's Veil, Flatback Snakeskin's Veil, attack with my 3/5? I think is the play here. Because if they don't have a 3rd color in their deck, they're probably going to have a hard time dealing with my 3/5. And then this lets me play Stormwing. Yeah, I like it. Honestly, both of those are great, right? Why do we even bother scrying? Just unlucky, chat. So, hand, bottom, exile. Do we double fight here? Maybe? So, I was thinking I would Stormwing fight the Bone Crusher, because I don't want my Arcanist to die to a shock. Yeah, so I think my plan here, because they attacked, is I'm gonna go ahead and Attack and opt and see where we get. Alex Never Lucky, thank you for the Prime support. There's a ton of great people you can send that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month. Let's do this. Does mean I take 2, but we're taking 9. Indy, thanks for the 28 months. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. So I don't really know what the opponent's doing. They played like blue-red cards and Bone Crusher Giants. Whoa! Is this a new bug? There's a sideboard thing over here on the right side during sideboarding while my sideboard's up here. Got like a bunch of jacked up magic back images on here too. It's that's fun. That could just be a feature. It could this is just a word reminding you that you're currently sideboarding, chat. It's not a bug. It's a quality of life improvement to let you know where you're currently at while you're playing Arena. Bug, silly jaded Magic players, always looking at the worst in life. Ooh, if I drop, and look at this. If I drop a card over here, it puts it up top for us. Look at this convenient way to unsideboard. It's just convenience, chat. You love to see it. And they say there aren't new features in my Magic Arena. It just works. I'm gonna go ahead and click submit. I don't know what our opponent's deck is doing. I'm gonna run it back. This hand has got to go fast, chat. Zoom, zoom. You ain't first, you're last. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh, Salamander with the big brain play. It's called the sideboard, not the top board. So it's on the side of my screen now instead of the top of my screen. It's just more intuitive, chat. It's just more intuitive. Love it. That's fantastic. Hey, Ludarina, thank you for the 21 months. And that tier 3 is very generous. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Is that the Zoom song from the old Mazda commercial? Listen, my vocal parody range runs deep. What was it? I occasionally sing Driving in My Car Beep Beep as well, which is, oh, they're a combo deck. Combo. All right, so... yeah, what if we just, like, Sprite plus Snakeskin? Well, what if I Dragonsguard Elite and then try to double Snakeskin, and then the following turn, we can this plus this plus this? Yeah, I like Dragonsguard plus Snake. Snake, a snake. Oh, it's a snake. Dreadhorde, Elite, Elite. And I think I want to go ahead and get Dragonsguard Elite out of deal 4 range. Because they're almost assuredly a Mizzix Mastery deck, and I think I'd rather this be bigger than this. It's close though. They're both out of Anger of the Gods range at either rate. So, because they're a Mizzix Mastery deck, I think we're actually just supposed to attack for 8 here and pass. It isn't the fun play, but it's the optimal play. We're definitely just supposed to pass with Mana Leak up. I'm giving Sardnox a thumb up because they said they're on mute. And I want them to know I appreciate their resub. Oh, they're playing Dragonstorm. Chat, I'm the bad man. I'm the bad man. Duh. There's 4 people playing Dragonstorm in the championship tournament this weekend. Godspeed and best of luck to them. Can we see the decks or only the metagame? I don't believe they've published full deck lists yet. Someone feel free to provide a link to full deck lists if I'm incorrect on that. We should get them soonish. Their tournament starts approximately 3 hours from now, I believe. They don't go up till 1 p.m. PST, really? Oh, are the first few rounds standard? Well, no, the tournament, I thought the tournament starts at 9 a.m. PST. Am I wrong? I thought it was 11. I thought it was 11 Central. Oh, Historic doesn't start till 1 p.m. Perfect. That means they'll be playing the poopy format while we're still playing Magic, and I won't miss any Historic rounds later. That's 3 o'clock, so they'll start Historic right about the time I'm done with my stream. Will they post full deck lists on round 1? That makes sense. I was kind of surprised. Usually all the deck lists go up round 1. It'd be weird if they held half of them. This is unfortunately not an Abundant Harvest, so we have to mulligan here. Okay. Tournament starts with Historic according to the viewer guide. Damn it, Twitch chat. This is why we can't have nice things. You put in a 4th copy of the Busted card. That seems strong. As someone who was very pro Brainstorm being experimented with in this format, I really hope the Brainstorm decks have a good tournament and run people over, and we get gone. Oh, top 8's Historic too. Sweet. Okay, so I will miss Historic Ground. That's fine. Main deck Abrade. Rude. Okay, so there's something more controlling then if they're playing main deck Abrade as opposed to something like oh, did we queue back into the same person? I actually don't know. So we want to check the tape. I mean, there's a ton of blue-red decks in this format, so like And Terry's T, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Everybody for out this morning, by the way. 600 people, not even 15 minutes into the stream. Y'all are great. I guess we're 20 minutes in. Deck's been on for 15. The old 5-minute starting soon splash. I mean, Brainstorm's not about getting around discard spells. Brainstorm is good because it provides powerful selection. Double format events have a better chance of appealing to a wider audience because you get people who are interested in watching Historic as well as people who are interested in watching Standard. I think those exist. You also, speaking as someone who's prepared for tournaments many a time before, multi-deck tournaments are a lot more difficult and skill testing. Hey Jeff, moved to Singapore. Haven't had much time for streams. I want to tune in and say thank you, and I wish you and your family all the best. Oh, and look what I found on this account. You might have a use for it, I suppose. Thanks for the biddies, Top Toe. Hope your move went swell. We'll be here whenever you find time back around, hopefully. I'm not planning to go anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, I'd be surprised if they banned/suspended multiple things at the same time, Kraken, but honestly, I think I would suspend Brainstorm and Iteration. I think would be my Jeff, you're managing Historic, where would you start? Yeah, Magic.gg has the Historic and Standard breakdowns. The Standard format actually had a lower top deck than Historic. I believe Sultai Ultimatum was the top of Standard at like 20-ish%, if I recall. If I recall correctly. And the nice thing about this format is I can suggest we suspend Brainstorm here and people won't want to tar and feather me. They'll just be like, yeah, Jeff, we should probably do that because it's obviously too good now. Yeah, memory lapse is annoying, but based on the stats we see people registering in for these tournaments, hitting something specifically out of Jeskai control as opposed to hitting something that's in Phoenix and Jeskai control seems like a mistake. In my opinion. Do we have a Sacred Cow in Historic? I don't think so. Hey, Ernie Jin, thanks for the tip. I'd be happy to get that deck added to the queue. Sweet. Yeah, Green White Angel. Sounds good. So I unfortunately don't have any 1-mana spells here. Getting rid of discard spells doesn't make any sense. None of the discard spells or decks are very good right now. Are putting up big numbers or strong win rates. Hey, Red Ranger, thanks for the prime. I appreciate the cup. Welcome back. Hi, it's Jace. Thanks for dropping your Beza bucks back off this month. They usually don't want to remove deck archetypes with bans. Oh, they don't like to remove deck archetypes with bans. Why do I have this emote in my chat then? Where did this emote come from? Where did that emote come from? They don't want to remove deck archetypes with bans. Listen, chat, I've been hurt, okay? Yeah, where can I get an F in chat for the Field of the Dead? Field of the Deads of the world. All right, so let's pump up the jam, huh? Let's just go ahead and get these bigger. Honestly, I think I just want to make my Arcanist as large as we possibly can here. To be fair, Temur Oko basically still exists. The Temur Cadmina, Temur Planeswalker deck that's up on my side is like pretty reasonable. Yeah, lot of damage throughput here. And next turn we should be able to put ourselves in a pretty commanding position. You'll note that I put the extra counters on my Dreadhorde because not only does that protect it from burn spells, but it also means that I'm able to have trample with it. We might actually just kill them with Quandrix Command, huh? Yeah, it might be counters bounce. Counters bounce again. After yesterday's set, can't we all agree the Dragon's approach is breaking the format and it should be banned? Yeah, probably. I think that's probably a safe assumption. Was field banned because control players were upset? Excuse me? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh man, their dojo does not contain fear, chat. All right, well, that means I get to make the fun play then. These are a few of my favorite things. Arcanist, a solid 5 out of 7 there. Hey, Vang, thanks for the tier 2. Good morning, good morning. Toot toot. So far, our deck has been asserting dominance as the dominant Steam Vents deck on the ladder this morning. 2-0 in Steam Vents mirror matches. And to be fair, over 60% of the Mythic Championship registered Steam Vents this weekend, chat. So if you can figure out a way to be king of the Steam Vents, it's probably a decent place to be. Luris. We are already a diamond gamer. Yeah, green-white tokens. Green-white tokens and Enigmatic Incarnation were both very good to us. Did a lot of climbing with both of those the other day. Oh, interesting. You have my attention. sweet. Like, blue-white tempo here. If you're missing fast lands, can you swap them with pathways? You can, but they're a lot worse. This deck is really color-intensive requirements. Make sure, is this deck playing 12 shock lands? Make sure you're playing all 12 shocks before you play pathways. And honestly, I'd probably play a couple of buddy lands. Well, they've got Luris here, so they don't have like Ethereum and stuff. Yeah, the buddy lands are the check lands. I think we need to kill the Sailor this turn, huh? I think we're gonna start with naming non-land with this. And then I think I'm playing defense. I don't think I want to take 4 on the backswing. We're down on life right now. That's a great draw. I think with the untapped land tier, we double threat and then try and grow all of them. Yeah, I think if we hadn't drawn the untapped land, I would have probably gone this, but I'm just patsing here. I don't want to, like, if they have 2 spells, I don't want to run this into a thing where we're going to make it grow up here. Free Jazz. Jazz is great. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, it's the Vodrock combo deck in the queue works. I had assumed when you copied a thing on the stack, it didn't... I assumed when you copied a thing on the stack, it wasn't also mutating the copy, but it is. Feels like we're dead at this point. They just have so much card advantage. Their Curious Obsession drew them some cards. Lurius is hanging out. Our things are bigger than theirs, at least. But they're also going super wide. Some extra options now, at least. Really surprised they didn't just lapse the op. I guess it triggers all of these again. Why do you play against Just Guy Control in the normal queue? Because casual magic doesn't really exist on Arena. Yeah, we don't have any way to give these trample. So they just get like chump blocked out endlessly. Well, that would have been nice a turn ago if we hadn't gotten lapsed into Oblivion. That make us dead on board? Looks like it. Yeah, crash through is interesting. Crash through is definitely interesting. As someone who despises getting memory lapsed, looking at the metrics that we have from, and who has talked about he wouldn't mind seeing memory lapse removed from the format in the past, looking at the metrics that we are seeing, in my opinion, it does not appear that memory lapse is currently a problem. Based on the decks that are popular and have been doing well. I also think, in general, if you can ban cards that solve multiple problems as opposed to being more specific, that's ideal. So, like, Memory Lapse is only played in Jeskai control for the most part, whereas Expressive Iteration and Brainstorm are played in all of these Steam Vents decks that are popular, basically. I would start with, at a minimum, Brainstorm and probably this card too. Another thing to consider too that I think enough people don't think about is when you talk about memory lapse being frustrating, it's that feeling of constantly being memory lapsed. And the reason why you get memory lapsed so frequently is because they have all this card selection. The brainstorms and the expressive iterations let them find their way to these cards consistently. Jeskai turns plays memory lapse. I'm interested to see what the metrics look like from the event today, because not all of them always play that card. Has been my experience. Morning out. So, opt to hand Arcanist to bottom, this to exile to play out. I'm gonna Magma Spray this in response here, so this way I have something proactive to flash back with Dreadhorde Arcanist next turn. Now, Mizzix Mastery has not put up any metrics that would imply that it's too good. Just Dorat here and get this pumping up. Does your dojo contain fear opponent? It does. They're scared. They should be. We're just gonna hold up Mystic Dispute here. Tagging another Supreme Phantom sounds appealing. Oh, blue and red are objectively the best colors in Historic at the moment, Kid Martin. Over 60% of the Mythic Championship this weekend registered blue and red cards. So, like, I could technically push lethal here, but I don't think there's any reason to be that aggressive. Our hand is pretty well set up, and they're nowhere close to killing us, so... Goyf probably isn't playable in this format. Are we going to have Arena Cube content this season? Yeah, maybe. Probably depends on... Probably depends on how many viewer decks I have. Currently the queue's been very full. I don't know. I might not have time to fit in cube stuff with the addition of trying to fit in some modern. Might be tough to have enough time to do all those things. Am I planning to do some modern? Wednesday, I think, is the plan. Assuming card availability is not an issue on Magic Online, I'm planning to do 2 to 3 modern decks Wednesday morning to dip into the format. Unfortunately, not a green source, so got a mulligan. I'm gonna be greedy and keep this around the draw. They're like God's Willing and stuff? Mana Tither. Lol. Probably lose the game if we mulligan to 5 too, so I think this hand's fine keep. Magic is frequently gambling. Alex Never Lucky. What an appropriate username for some bits after we Never Lucky. Thanks for the support. Okie doke. Probably Velocamith's turns. Usually Phoenix doesn't play Cycle Lands. Confirmed Velocamith. Just try and get pressure going here. We don't have any disruption in our hand. I guess this is technically disruption, this matchup. Yes. What percent of historic decks do you think contain Eldraine cards? I mean, most decks in historic have a huge range of cards in it. Hey, thanks for taking the time to do the Prime too. I wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you. Welcome to the chat. You should make sure you pop in the Discord server too. It's kind of the 24/7 version of Hooglandia. I think we just hold up Quandrix Command here. Because they ditched a Transmogrify, so I assume they have a combo card here. So, what I'm about to do is going to be kind of aggressive, but I'm going to Snakeskin Veil my Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then Atarka's Command, +1/+1, and deal 3, so that way I can flash this back next turn and push more damage. We might as well put a land into play. Perfect. Look at that, chat. The ramp was relevant. Because now I get to cast Stormwing Entity. Whilst still holding up Quandrix Command. Love it. Sure. Alright, if we can dodge a miscast, we can dodge a ball. Spell Pierce 2, I suppose. Are they dead? This is lethal, right? What a fantastic Dreadhorde Arcanist, chat. Let's make a command for Cube. Alright, so Fry is good here. Mystic Dispute and Negate are fine. It's a Soul Guide Lantern matchup. I wonder if this is a Soul Guide Lantern matchup. They do have Expressive Iteration. Or they do have Mizzix Mastery. This is probably an Atarka's Command out matchup. I think if I disable it, I can do it myself. Does that work? There we go. Look at that. I know how the bot works. All right, what do we do? Yeah, Stroke. Stroke is good. Stroke targets all their combo cards. It also tags the dragon if they hardcast it. Is it crazy to cut Expressive Iteration? Tapping for 2 that doesn't play to the board early sounds not appealing. Maybe the lanterns aren't good enough. Just lean on the counter spells. PV Avery, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Osprey, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. We're supposed to wait to play this until we can hold up Veil, potentially. I think that's the case. It's our only threat. My body is ready to get memory lapsed and then combo killed. I think we're supposed to play the threat rather than hold up the Negate. If they have exactly the combo next turn, great. We need to actually start killing them though. Yeah, the untapped overlay shows you what is currently in my deck. It even shows you the odds of me drawing particular things. I don't think we're gonna get another turn, chat. Okay, so we have to draw Quandrix Command. 3 shots at it. You will play against a lot of Jeskai in every historic queue on Magic Arena right now. It's very good. This is old school Magic that treasure mode wouldn't target and we'd have countered their spell. Yep. It's funny, I was just thinking that, Beetle, too. They explicitly designed that to target the player, so that way when you lose your shock target, your spell doesn't get countered. We had Fry in our deck that game too. Forgot we boarded those in. Hey, pay attention to what you're doing while you're walking around playing Pogo Owl. I agree that the game is great in its current iteration, though. That's a good range of stuff. Land. I'm gonna opt here because opt doesn't let us pick lander spells. Like if this finds a land, I'll want this to find a spell next turn. Urkadar, thanks for the 46 months. They fixed the issue with an absolutely decimating battery life. I mean, It hammers your battery life because it's an application that's using your GPS, and GPS is very battery intensive. I'm never playing more than 3 hours at a time, and my phone battery lasts 3 hours. If I was going out longer than that, I'd probably bring a battery brick with. Oh, Galarian Stunfisk. No, I can confirm that one still exists. Have your treasure. What happens after you lose your sword to a timeout as a mod? If you're still a sub, I usually give your sword back. Sometimes the other mods will bully you first, though. Whoa, my Twitch chat just completely freaked out. Weird. Hey, Rabner, thanks for the 47 months. That is some time. Welcome back. That's nice. A little pressure going, maybe. Nice. Okay, sweet. So, looks like we should be pretty well set up this game now, right? Got a grip full of stuff and this little Dorko chugging along. How many cards does Dreadhorde draw? Hopefully enough. Hopefully enough. The little card advantage engine that could, shit. The person in chat that said they only have the right IVs for 3 Pokemon, I mean, the right IVs are a lot less important than the right Pokemon. If you can get like a 95% stat product, that's usually good enough. Difference between a 99 and a 95 is pretty minimal. Snakeskin Veil is gonna make him a little stronger than 1-1 here soon. Cause I agree we need to get to closing faster. And that's probably a byproduct that you can't breed in Pogo Pokemon Nerd, I'd assume. Again, in the main games, you can sit there and breed constantly to get the right ones. Wub. Check out some of our options here. I don't know if I have time to put another threat down. They know about Snakeskin and Dispute. I'm gonna shock this in and harvest. Nice, nice. Now he gets to draw more cards next turn. You'll have to see it, chat. Maybe I should have kept the second threat. It's close. And double my clock up here. So if I cast this, I can stroke double dispute still. Hey, what's wrong with auto temper, chat? I have 3 blue. They're gonna have enough to creativity, pay for a dispute, and then pay mana to counterspell my next dispute. Well, looks like they got a big old nothing shit. Oh, wait, I turn on this, I think. My understanding is if you use the link, that should be the referral blue. That should do, you downloading through the link should do everything automatically. Does it not? Did your account not have? It should give you $10 in free stocks. Did it not? I've had people use it before and said it logged their thing in. I wonder if there's an issue with it today. Do I want to deploy? Yeah, it should send you to the App Store. It's a mobile app. That's expected. So if I do this, I have stroke, dispute. They pay 4, target this. I stroke them, they counterspell me, I dispute, and we should be good. So we'll do this, and then next turn we should have lethal. We're close to it. The person that submitted the Vodrock deck, if you look at the notes in the queue, requested that it be played third today. That's okay, I understand you're a Magic player. Alright, now this is, like, definitely lethal, right? D-Chat, dominant Steam Vents deck. Dominant Steam Vents deck. There is a modern, wait, like a card that just got printed is $130 as of right now? That seems silly, Waterfalls. The card Cesar, thanks for 11 months, welcome back. Yeah, like the Magic Arena economy ain't perfect, but like it's definitely bad in different ways than what's it called is bad, the paper economy. What decks have a lot of little decisions in them? Decks full of cantrips. These cards like make you make a bunch of micro decisions every single turn. I definitely didn't think that was a red source. Nope. Definitely knew that that was another blue-green land. Fifth Blade, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I really appreciate that and the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. Dragonsguard Elite is a good bit worse than Arcanist here, because not only does Arcanist start generating card advantage, but Dragonsguard Elite gets stomped. Yikes. Yeah, their board's pretty big, but like, if they don't have a cleave here soon, like, my Dragonsguard Elite's gonna stonewall them pretty hard, right? They're also missing a color of mana. Unfortunate that Arcanist is just turned off by skews. Yeah, our Simic deck is gas, chat. Third color ain't free in this format. We shocked you could have countered Cleave, that's thought. They don't have any red mana though, right? So like, why would I do that? Sadness on the stack resolves. Had these bits hanging around, I wanted to toss them at someone. I still enjoy watching after 2 years. Thank you for the support. If there's any particular historic deck you'd like to see at some point, let me know, Sadness. Slide into my DMs. Like, maybe one more turn to draw a red source before things get away from us. Hey, good games. Good luck on the rest of your lettering today, Fifth. Just gonna use my mana. Grow my thing. This could counter a cleave at some point, but need to stay alive in the early game. Think the opponent's also missing a color, or are they secretly mono green? Chat, what do we think? I'm gonna no attacks here in case they decide to get frisky this turn. Confirmed Gruul. Okay, so if I do this, I take 10, 11, 12. I think we're probably dead, unfortunately, right? What if I find land Quandrix Command? So this is 10, 11, 12, and then Quandrix is +4. Can I kill them? I think the answer is no, because this has Death Touch. If this didn't have Death Touch, they'd be dead to Atarka's Command plus fight your thing, right? Because this is +7. This is +7. God, that's so gross. This is +7. Man, close game considering how long we were missing our red. They were missing red for a little bit too, but they got to play most of their cards while missing red. Nah, I mean, they definitely block. There's no reason to spend time there. Quandrix Command wasn't lethal, right? It would be 10, 12, 16. Yeah, too short still, even if we hit land command. Damian Kane, thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. Yeah, if we were higher, they might have no blocks there, but yeah, is this the Weather the Storm matchup? Kraken, are you here? Is this the Weather the Storm matchup? I gotta imagine this is just like any aggro matchup, right? I don't envision this card being very good, but I also can't imagine it being better anywhere than here. We unfortunately do not have Spell Pierce on the board for Gruul, no. So, I think especially on the play, and this being our only threat, this is a Dragonsguard Elite on 3 matchup with the Snakeskin Veil to protect it. I'm gonna try and not die to Stomp. Now, our opponents died long before we get to 6 mana every game we've played. Nice. Abrade would be sad, but this not dying to Stomp is huge. Hopefully just go like Burning Tree here, or like Burning Tree 3-2. Burning Tree 3-2 would be the nuts for us. Now they have a Braid. Never lucky. If it would have gone double threat, we would have gotten a Dragonsguard into Magma Spray, them both have a 4-4. The blocks. It could have been right to Magma Spray practically on Archer, not playing around a second Abrade since they'd already played one of them, but this is our last threat, so I don't really want to lose if they have the second Abrade. That's felt decent so far, Gully. Gets punished by Questing Beast exactly, but outside of Questing Beast, the 6/6 will dominate the board. I wonder if we want some Lava Coils in the sideboard for Questing Beast. It's like a fine generic removal spell. They're actually really good against mono black aggro, kill spawn and stuff and exiles. Questers, it seems like a tough nut to crack. Yeah, Quandrix Command seems like it's cast in this deck, for sure. They're in the tank here, so I assume that means they don't have Questing Beast. I guess double Abrade could be bad for us, but that's pretty unlikely. They had Questing Beast, they would have cast it, so I'm just going to go ahead and put them on a 2-turn clock here. Let's put them under the Abyss. Yeah, I agree, Lionheart. Honestly, like, we played Mardu tokens, and Silver Quill Command was better in that deck for me than Kolaghan's Command was. So, Red Cap Melee would require me to sacrifice a land to kill a Questing Beast, which is explicitly the thing I'm looking to kill. Red Cap Melee is also an incredibly narrow card, and Historic's a format with a wide range of decks that you can expect to play against. So, Red Cap Melee, for example, wouldn't really want to come in against Black Aggro, whereas Lava Coil is excellent there. Flexibility is the name of the game when it comes to sideboard cards in a format like this. Honestly, I kind of don't mind the idea of a copy of Crash Through. Alright, so do I shock Snakeskin Veil and then Weather the Storm for a bunch? Alright. Can they provide chump blockers while they attack me with everything else? Yeah, and there's the card I can't beat, right? There's Questing Beast. Yeah, we're just dead. We can't beat Questing Beast ever, Kraken Null. Is what it feels like. This card not having trample has also been poop soup. Have you tested Crash Through in this deck? As a cantrip / way to make this do stuff? I think Footfall Crater is much worse than Crash Through. Crash Through gives you trample and draws a card. Our things also aren't big to start. Alright, we're into Remnant Runes with this land. Close game. I'm aware Footfall Crater gives trample. I'm just commenting that the haste isn't useful, and it's worth. That's the upside to Footfall Crater giving trample, like Crasher gives trample, is it gives haste, and haste isn't relevant. And that game was a great example of why Weather the Storm isn't a card you should be playing. We're gonna put some Lava Coils on the sideboard over these Weather the Storms. I also don't know that I like wilt. What are we wilting? What is the wiltable thing? I mean, I didn't even bring it in there against Skrull. Like, do you want this against Skrull? Yeah, if this is here explicitly for cleave, I'd much rather it be Abrade. You beat Sharknado by counterspelling it. That's how you beat Sharknado. No, chat, listen, you don't board in Cindervines against Skrull. This is why I asked the deck builder, what did you want this slot to do? And if the answer to what do you want this slot to do is kill Embercleave, then Abrade's the correct answer because this kills Embercleave, but it's also just a good removal spell in that matchup. How do I fit in Crash Throughs? Hey, D Price, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Dark Tutor, thanks for the follow. Yeah, against Skrull, you want your cards to play to the board as often as possible. Nah, Aether Gust doesn't. So like, think about your statement there, Therabrae. You want Aether Gust to answer Questing Beast and Cleave. It doesn't actually do that. Aether Gust is a temporary solution to a permanent problem. If you're not literally killing your opponent the following turn, Aether Gust did not answer those cards. It just like took them off the board for half a second. Trim a Stormwing. We could just trim an Opt. This card's not that much worse than Opt. Claim the Firstborn doesn't solve any problems that we're having, Miles. Again, when you're thinking about edits to deck, think, I have this problem, what is a solution I can play to this problem? And ideally, you want your solutions to be flexible, not narrow specific cards. So like, Lava Coil is a great example of that, you know? Questing Beast seems difficult to answer. Can't attack through it with my large threat because it just trades with Death Touch. How do we answer Questing Beast? Okay, Lava Coil. Is Lava Coil good other places? Yeah, it's good in other aggro matchups generically, and it's really good against Mono Black. Morning, Envy Medic. Yeah, it's fine against Phoenix. I don't know. I don't know that I'd call Lava Coil good against Phoenix. I guess it, like, kills crackling drakes and stuff, too, but it's fine there. It probably boards in. You're not happy about it, though. Godless Shrine, Witch's Oven. You have my attention, opponent. Well, so part of that might be your sequencing too, Kanjo. If you're worried about one, if your goal is to be an interactive deck, you probably should be playing something else. The goal of this deck is to get under people. Two, one of the decisions you'll see me make a number of times throughout the course of this set is I wait to play my 2-drop until turn 3, so that way I can protect it or pump it. Am I surprised by this weekend's metagame for the championship? I was a little bit. I was definitely expecting a little bit more Jeskai control and a little bit less Phoenix. And it's one of those things that's hard to evaluate from a psychological perspective because, like, Phoenix feels so much better to play against than Jeskai. It's very easy to fall into the trap of, oh, I think I have to bottom this because I'm tight on green mana and I have a bunch of green cards already. Thanks for the biddies, Paula. Good morning. We're bottoms upping here. I just don't think that card's good enough. There aren't enough, like, random flying things in the format to kill Lambton to make the back half playable. Main deck of Abrade. Okay. Colossal Might, target creature gets 4/2. Isn't there a split card that does exactly that? There's a split card that gives like 4/2 and trample, right? Yeah, collision. What's Collision Colossus? What's Colossus do on Collision Colossus? Someone help me out? Yeah. Yeah, I remember correctly. Yeah, it's just better. Listen, chat, I played a lot of Collision Colossus where that card was legal. And I think we've died. I have to imagine this matchup's probably pretty unwinnable for us. This type of our type of deck is exactly the style of deck that was rendered unplayable in this format for the most part when the opponent's archetype was really good. So we'll do this. Yeah, Baleful Strix would be too good in this format. You're underestimating the fact that sure it dies to everything, but it replaces itself. It's like cards like Baleful Strix and Brainstorm and Expressive Iteration, they look very unassuming. I guess we might be okay with that bounce there. Yeah, this into this might actually get us there. Although that's a Mayhem double. If I block this, they go So this is sack. They have 2 sacks. Oh, they can sack both foods, right? That's 3 sacks. But if I block here, they have 3 sacks. Oh, but one of the sacks can be this, right? Let me just take the hit. Harlequin, welcome to the elite club of the Shillionaires. Let's watch that trickle down economy in action, making it easier for the next Shillionaire to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Be sure to submit the deck you'd like to see played using the forum on my site, and you can drop me a DM on Discord to claim your role there. So, I think we start with Quandrix Command, bounce this, and then that's 3, 6, 7, and then this is 6, is 13. Oh, it's close. Chat, they have an oven here. I guess I can start here and see what they do. They have so many pings available to them. I'm not convinced of that, Charizard. I'd be we played Mardu yesterday, and I'd be kinda surprised if, wow, are they dead now? I think they're dead now, right? Because each of these is 6. This is 8. Yeah, it's exactly lethal. Right? Alright, thanks. Good shit. Okay, I mean, yeah, I think our opponent definitely should have, like, mowed down our board there. I'm instantly rewarded for putting Lava Coil and Abrade in our sideboard, by the way. BT dubs. No, you're fine, Godbeard. I'm gonna do Modern on Wednesday. You're good. You're all set. The little bit more I wait for Modern, the more card availability we'll have anyways. Yeah, I was expecting them to at least ping their thing. I don't know, James. Like, I've tried a couple iterations of Mardu off stream too. And like what's the best way to put it? The power level increases that you get really don't feel like they make up for the amount of damage you take from your lands and the amount of utility lands you can't play. Adding a third color is super far from free in this format. Finvincible, thanks for the follow. Yeah, why do you think, what is your experience been that you think Bardu is better? Sound of Science, thanks for the 19 months, welcome back. Playing 12 Shocklands really hurts in this format. maybe you're not on the full 12, but usually to cast your spells consistently, you're on at least 10. Yeah, and then like you mix Thoughtseize in with a bunch of Shocklands and things get real dicey real fast. Galax, good morning. Aussie, howdy howdy. I agree, Nor. One of the things that makes Historic a good format is the fact that it's a real consideration on whether or not you want to splash into a third color. Throws out a range of Anger / Suns. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll look at the deck list from the event that's going on today when they go up, but my experience has been that Jeskai doesn't really play Anger / Sweltering Suns. Because they play Lightning Helix. I'm gonna count on Expressive Iteration drawing us a third land, I think, so I'm gonna be greedy and take a spell with this. Yikes. I actually don't think the 3-color shadow decks are very good either. I've worked on 3-color and 2-color shadow decks, and the 2 and 3-color. The 2 and 3-color shadow decks are a little more consistent. Yeah, I agree, Todd. I'd rather just play black-white. Alright, I already have a Lava Coil. Magma Spray is an instant, so we can cast that on their turn, so that sounds appealing. So hand, bottom, land to play. Really new to Magic and the theory behind deck building. Can someone explain how splashing a third color in a deck like Mardu Tokens is strong, but a mid-range deck, it falls flat? So the Mardu Tokens deck is a pretty aggressive deck, EMPJ. Also, it comes to the question of what upside are you gaining from adding that third color in? So, like, for example, in the Mardu Tokens deck, you're gaining access to Silverquill Command, which is a really powerful effect to gain access to. So the thing you're gaining needs to be worthwhile the consistency you're losing and the damage you're going to be dealing to yourself. Okay, so remember, this says non-creature spells, right? Yeah, so I can cast this Arcanist this turn, which sounds nice. We can play the Steam Vents. I don't know. I agree with you that all of those are good cards. Honestly, the thing it comes down to is while you're listing a bunch of cards that are good, another thing is like, do you have other cards that could fill those roles, right? So like when I look at both black-white mid-range and red-white mid-range in this format, I don't struggle to find 75 playable cards in either of those two decks. So like, I don't feel like I'm filling holes by splashing a color in. Some of the cards are like a little bit weaker, like Ajani's a little bit worse of a card advantage planeswalker than Chandra Torch of Defiance, for example, but Chandra's not so much better that I want to reduce the consistency of my deck by splashing. I think Arcanist is fine here, so like next turn, for example, I can play this, flashback an Abundant Harvest, and like have Magma Spray or this on their turn. So that seems, Arcanist seems like it's going to do fine work here. Just to go on a small rant here for a second, this is a card that when it was in Standard, we talked about this a lot. I despise the design of this card. I think from a pure game design perspective, this card is a rancid pit stain. Because It literally gives the person you're playing against no counterplay other than be luckier and don't draw a second copy of your thing. It is an incredibly frustrating and bad design to be on the receiving end of. Morning, Golgari. I don't understand why it also had to take the cards out of your hand. Like, I think it's just like kind of a different Bile Blight where it tagged all the ones in play would have been more than appropriate. It's one of those, I definitely don't think this card's too strong. I don't think I would say you should ban it, but I think the experience that it generates, yeah, it's exactly like Hero Fall from Hex Elwynds, except it doesn't take the copies out of your deck too. That card was also a bad design for similar reasons. I think this Deafening Silence is going to be the death of us, champ. Yeah, this was printed as not only an answer to Field of the Dead, but I think this card also was printed to a degree because they wanted to what's the word that I'm searching for? They wanted to have a safety net in case Growth Chamber Guardian was too good, which is silly because that card was nowhere near too good. I mean, I don't think Surgical Extraction feels bad to play against at all. Surgical Extraction, in fact, is a trap card that convinces people that don't understand, like, basic game theory stuff to, like, board it in when they shouldn't. Surgical Extraction is like Unmoored Ego or Test of Talents. Those style of cards are like, people just constantly want to board them in and they should have no business boarding them in. Please sack the cat. Please sack the cat. Hey, I'm glad you're having fun, Ewok. Yeah, it's a really neat, it's a good game to play casually too. Just the collecting aspect is nice. Something to do while you're walking around getting some exercise. Alright, so we're Quandrix commanding. I'm not sure that it really matters though. Okay. I think we're expressive iterating trying to find an Abrade to kill this Witch's Oven. Yeah, we're just a cat blinking in and out. We stole game 1 at least, so we get a game 3 on the play here. I'm happy with how I boarded. Run it back now, y'all. I mean, James, I know you've played the deck a lot, and I agree with you from a theory standpoint that the black makes specifically your Jeskai turns matchup better. But, like, even looking at the tournament that's this weekend, where Jeskai turns is likely overrepresented, like, it's not that popular of a deck. Nothing is that popular. And like Dead Guy Ale also has a decent turns matchup and is also good against control. You know, you do you and have a good time. I'm just saying from both a theory perspective and my anecdotal experience. It did not feel like a meaningful improvement. For the follow, FMAL and UD. So definitely don't want cantrips. I think I'm out on lands too, honestly. I want some more instant speed spells so I can do stuff on their turn. Dead Guy Ale is the name of deck type. It's a black-white tempo deck. How badly do I want to get got by Claim the Firstborn? Pretty badly? I think I just need to end the game, huh? Let's just chill. Only cast one spell anyways. It's going to be Lava Coil this turn. Yeah, let's just keep holding this up. Is there a world in which Feather becomes strong again? Yeah, I put Naya Feather up on the website after we played it last time. I think that archetype is reasonable. Alright, so if they had to claim the Firstborn, they would have done it last turn, right? So now we Snakeskin Veil this so I can Lava Coil next turn. Shimoka's Command was a good power level increase for that archetype. Perfect. This is non-creature spells. This Temur deck's been super reasonable. Part of me wants to throw it up on the website, but another part of me thinks this card might get whacked, so I'm kind of hesitant. Maybe we'll wait and see what the results are this weekend. Might get a banner for this one. Yeah, Brainstorm and Expressive Iteration would be my historic watch list currently. For people that don't follow Magic as a whole, Expressive Expressive Iteration. All right, James, I'm just gonna give you a break. You're not new here. Like, I'm happy to talk about things from a theory perspective, but like your sample size is big and you're being annoying with it. Like, I get that like your total set of games that you've played is like almost reasonable, but like you also haven't played 300 or 400 matches with the Mardu variation either, right? And like it is effectively impossible for a single person to generate meaningful data in terms of statistical significance in a format like this. You need dozens or ideally hundreds of players playing hundreds or thousands of matches. And then there's still lots of variation in that, right? Like there's player skill caliber variation on the other side. There's variation in how you're sideboarding. There's variation in what cards are in your sideboard. And your deck list didn't stay the same the entire time you played. Magic is being good at Magic and Magic deck building is the art of coming to meaningful conclusions from statistically insignificant sample sizes. And in my opinion, an appropriate response to why is this good or bad is never ever because I have this win rate. Because just saying I have this win rate, unless your sample is in the thousands or tens of thousands, isn't good enough. It's not significant. There's too many variables that you can't reduce and weed out. I'm happy to talk about deck building and whether or not things might be good or bad from the theory perspective and how things line up and what we think are average case scenarios. Those are useful things to talk about. But like another thing to consider too is like, you want to talk about win rates, like, half the decks I play on this stream, we go 4-2, 5-1, 6-0 or whatever, and like have a way more wins than losses with them 50% of the time or more, right? Like your record does not mean the deck is decent. At any rate, I liked this deck a lot, Kraken. Yeah, I think what this is doing seems really sweet. I think cleaning up the sideboard a little bit seems super reasonable. Lava Coil and Abrade should go a long way to making the Gruul matchup feel a little bit better. Quandrix Command. I really love the design of this command, and this was definitely the best Quandrix Command deck I've played. I hadn't thought about Dreadhorde Arcanist pairing with Quandrix Command the same way we did with Silverquill Command, and I'm kind of embarrassed that I didn't think about that, because like that was really sweet a number of times. You just like pump up the counters on this and then get to flash it back again, and like you put a lot of pressure into play, right? Atarka's Command was sweet. We stole some games that we wouldn't have otherwise won because this card was really powerful, especially with Dreadhorde Arcanist. I feel like some number of crash through are probably going to be good. I don't know that like the cuts I made for these crash throughs are ideal, but I feel like figuring out what mix of these is ideal is good, because this card having some way to give this trample incidentally seems very powerful and good. So I like the idea of this, and I think it's better than something like Footfall Crater, because the upside of Footfall Crater is giving haste versus trample. They both give trample, and I'd much rather draw a card than randomly give things haste in this deck. Also, Casting Crater doesn't like trigger my Magecraft idiots, these things. This one? No, it triggers this one, I guess. It doesn't trigger this one, right? Magecraft? Yeah, so triggers this, but not this. Thanks for the follow, Shardless. Shardless, you must be happy. That card's in Modern now. We'll probably play with that one on stream at some point soon.